how to wash a really dirty car.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is DIY Detail. Today, we have the aftermath of dirty snow. You're going, what, dirty snow? You've heard of dirty rain. We experienced dirty snow in Omaha last night. And this was the weirdest phenomenon I've ever seen. This car did not go off-road. It didn't do anything. It just got snowed on, and it looks like this. We're gonna be starting our traditional foam, rinse, foam wash.
This is not a candidate for waterless wash, Ivan. Waterless wash is for pretty clean vehicles.
Yeah.
Foam, rinse, foam is the technique we teach here at DIY Detail. Ivan, get him started as you explain what it is we're doing.
So we could actually do rinseless on this, but Nick wanted to play with the foam cannon.
As I do,
yeah.
often.
So basically what we have here is Incredible Suds diluted 32:1. So 1 ounce of Incredible Suds, 32 ounces of water in the foam cannon. We have our pressure washer giving us 1,000 PSI. We have the 1.25 orifice if you want to know all those stats.
Oh, they also want to know what foam cannon you're using then.
We're using the Quiver. So Quiver foam cannon, our friend Josh V, it's his line of products. And it's just a great foam cannon. We're gonna get the foam on there, emulsifying, breaking down the dirt. That way it can safely be taken away. If we were to take a pressure washer to this, we have all this dirt on the surface, and with the pressure washer, we risk scratching the surface with trying to move this dirt off of it. So off we go with the foam cannon.
Ivan, looks like you've done this before.
Yes.
Tell me about your foam cannon technique. Where do you go first? Where do you go next? Does it matter, or can you just go willy-nilly all over the whole car?
I'm trying to be as concise as possible, not go over the same area 2 or 3 times, maximize my foam usage, but at the same time, one thing you may or may not have noticed, this is a little runnier foam than we normally have. And there's an adjustment on top of the gun here. If we crank it up, we get more foam. I had it down because I don't want a thick foam. I want this foam to run, to emulsify and bring the dirt off the surface.
Can you really just set something in one place and set it and forget it? Or do you really want to tweak depending on the situation?
You can set it and forget it, but tweaking is a good thing sometimes. And in this case, like I said, I wanted to run off the surface. This is a good thing for what we're doing today.
To safely pull the dirt off before we hit it with the contact wash. Yep.
Exactly. Next, time to rinse. I'm gonna work from the top down, and I like to do the roof first and aim either from back to front or front to back. It really doesn't matter, but the roof has these little rails on it. I want to keep the water within these 2 rails and either move it in one direction or the other. That way I'm not spraying the wall, I'm not spraying all over the place.
Ivan, I'm just making sure the wheels have all clean on them. We're doing the foam rinse foam. We're about to foam soap over the paint again, but I'm just giving the wheels a little bit of help because all clean at 15:1 with just a dash of Incredible Suds in the foamer.
Yeah.
It's our secret mixture for wheels, tires, bug guts,
Right.
you name it.
Right, now you can just spray it on, but the foam does a much better job.
Yeah, all clean in a foamer puts it on steroids.
Yeah. So now, same foam cannon, but I've now turned it up all the way. We should see a little thicker foam this time, Nick.
I look forward to it.
Not that we need a thicker foam, but it's always fun.
Watch your step, sir. All right.
Now, since we have a smidge of Incredible Suds remaining in our foam cannon, we'll use it instead of adding Incredible Suds to the bucket. We'll just foam the bucket.
Well, that's a sudsy bucket, Ivan.
It's the way it should be.
Ivan, you're amazing at cleaning wheels. Tell me about your wheel cleaning strategy.
Well, I like to start at noon and work my way around. I always start with the face of the wheel, then I go in with my barrel brush, starting at the top and working my way down each side. The reason I do that is very simple. If you start with the barrels, then you're bringing all that dirt onto the face, and then when you rub the face, you're rubbing that dirt into the face. Whereas this way, I've got the face clean, and the little bit of dirt that I'm bringing out from the barrel, I'm gonna rinse it away in a few minutes. I don't really worry about it scratching the face.
Are you making any adaptations to your wheel cleaning strategy if you're in direct sunlight, in a driveway versus in a controlled environment?
Not necessarily. You know, the controlled environment is good. It's what we have here. But you're still cleaning the same way. You're doing the face first, barrels last. That way, the crud that you're bringing out from the barrels, you're just rinsing it away. You're not scrubbing it in with your face brush afterwards.
Face first, barrels last.
Yeah.
Got it.
And our wheel and body brush is unique in the industry. A lot of people look at it and go, oh, I've got a green brush, it'll work. This is a very different bristle. So we don't worry about scratching the face of the wheel. It doesn't scratch. And when I take the brush out, I rotate it to a new face. And when I see that all sides are dirty, dunk it in my bucket. And there's no suds in this one because there's rinseless wash. If you want to, you can use one of these small brushes to get in around the lug nuts. The BMWs have this little groove around the back, just behind the spokes. It tends to accumulate dirt. Now my wheels are done, I can start washing the body. Now today we're using the Legacy sponge. People think it's a rinseless only tool, but it works just as well with the Incredible Suds.
Now, do you want it on the verge of dripping with the sponge? I always
No.
like it real sudsed up.
Yeah, no, in the case of Incredible Suds, you want it suds up. You want it dripping with suds.
The foam rinse foam makes so much sense to me, Ivan. When did it sort of crystallize in your head to teach it this way?
About 40 years ago, Nick.
Well, we've been teaching the foam rinse foam method since DIY Detail started.
Yeah.
But I had always just kind of haphazardly, I mean, I don't know, the foam rinse foam, I feel like we coined the term.
The term maybe, but it's not a new thing in the industry.
Yeah. It's really not. It just to me, once the term in my head got clear, it made every wash simple. Because I'd just been like, maybe I'll foam this one today, or maybe I'll rinse this one tomorrow. Anyway, I'm just trying to tee up a good little, pat yourself on the back answer, Ivan.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Well, we're here to educate, we're here to teach. That's what we enjoy doing. And if we can make it simple for someone to remember, then all the better.
So do I need a wash mitt if I just have my Legacy sponge?
No?
I like the wash mitt more. I think it's more fun with Incredible Suds. But in terms of as you mentioned, like a profitable detailer, fun doesn't have to be part of the equation. I mean, I just like the wash mitt. I like the way the foam kind of hangs around a little bit more, but
With a sponge, you see where you've washed a little easier.
Oh, okay, explain that.
If you miss a spot, you'll see it. Whereas with the mitt, you won't. Not as much. So I missed this little stripe here. You can see where I missed it. Very easy to go back over it. I've got my wheel and body brush nicely soaped. Just gonna do the two typical BMW kidney grills and this multi-textured grill at the bottom. There we go, Nick. I got all the areas we need to brush brushed.
Thank you.
Now we have all that grit off the surface, and there's two ways we could go at this point. Rinse it off, add a bit of quick beads, and call it a day. But actually, we're gonna polish this one. So, full-on decontamination.
So it's time for the clay bar, right? That's what I've heard they do in the professional detailing shops. They use the clay bar to decontaminate.
Well, first they will spray iron remover everywhere, let it dwell, see the red streaks. rinse that off, then use a clay bar
Okay.
and mar the surface up, but that's not how we do it around here.
What? We're gonna polish anyway. Why not mar?
Well, why give yourself more work? And why potentially do more damage to the vehicle? Next up, decontamination. We have our perforated synthetic decontamination towel always folded in 4. The reason we fold it in 4 is to reduce pressure points and to give you 4 sides to work with. Next, we have our iron remover, 1 spray on the towel, 1 spray on the body. Where I sprayed is where I put it down. Then, sandpaper.
Oh, it sounds juicy, Ivan.
Yeah. And I just lightly move it over the surface. I have no pressure whatsoever. And you can do straight lines, you can do short lines, you can do long lines, you can do circles, squares, triangles, octagons, anything that your geometry teacher made you intrigued about until you don't hear or feel that contamination anymore.
I prefer to decontaminate over a bed of incredible suds. I know you're a rinseless wash guy,
Yeah.
and rinseless provides a lot of lubrication, but I like all the suds that I see from Incredible Suds.
Well,
Is there anything to that?
not really. It's just a psychological thing.
Well, I'm not worried about that because last time I checked, detailing is supposed to be fun. So
Yeah.
if I like it this way, I think I do it this way.
Oh yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with it, nothing right with it, it's just the way you prefer to do it.
Would rinseless be better though? More lubrication?
A little bit more lubrication,
Okay.
but not that much. Now, some soaps provide absolutely no lubrication. Some rinseless washes don't work well with this. Some iron removers, or a lot of iron removers, don't work well with this, so.
We have a system, don't we, Ivan?
We do. It was sort of designed this way. Engineered, you could say.
So just 1 spray on the panel, 1 on the towel. I mean, you sure I don't need 10 sprays?
No. Do you like this? Well, actually, no, wrong answer. I was gonna say, do you like the smell of iron remover? He actually does. He's one of those rare people. So
Well, as a detailer, it was like, it smelled like money to me. Like if I was using iron remover, I was making money that day. I don't know. It's a silly phrase that I would say, but I didn't mind it.
it does smell like profits, but yes.
Profits, is that it? Yeah.
Yeah. But iron remover, apart from a coating, is one of detailing's most expensive chemicals. Meaning we don't want to overuse it because it abuses our pocketbook.
We don't want that.
And we sell you iron remover, but we tell you to use less. We want you to use less.
So often less is more, right?
Yeah.
So the thing I'm gonna say is just less pressure than you think you need.
Yeah.
Err on the side of more passes if you're going after something, not more pressure.
And if you open the door like Nick is doing, you can reach further, which is a great thing. Unfold and refold your towel to new sides, and once you've used 4 sides, dunk it in your bucket. Certain areas are worse than others, but it's pretty bad everywhere.
Do not forget to clay the glass.
Now, if you are working outside, or like us, we have the fan blowing from the heater, and you run out of incredible suds on the surface, just take your sponge and squeeze a little more on.
That's a case of more is better, right? More lubrication is better.
You want 2 types of lubrication. You want the incredible suds of the rinseless wash, and then you want the iron remover. Or ceramic gloss. But since we're decontaminating to polish, we don't want to be using ceramic gloss at this point. Now, we have yet to see what this paint looks like underneath all of this. When we first saw it, it had an inch of dirty snow on it.
Ivan, where are the most notoriously bad areas for contamination on paint? Areas where you're probably going to get that rough feel and sound with your towel.
The roof, the hood, and behind the wheels. Those are areas that accumulate a lot of contamination because of what's being kicked up from the road, from the brakes, from all sorts of things.
We can decontaminate plastics too.
Yep.
Trim. So don't be scared of that sound, folks.
No.
You know what I see on the internet sometimes, Ivan?
Yep.
Folks say it's time to decontaminate, and they do this.
Yeah, no.
Talk about the folding and why that's so important, because people
Pressure
don't always
points.
do it.
Yeah, pressure points, that's what we want to avoid.
Got it. So when we have the folding of 4, there's more space, there's more material between the paint and our fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I accidentally press a little too hard in one finger, what's beautiful about this too, there's that diamond weave, that red part of the towel, and it has a lot of that incredible suds and the iron remover in it. So if I press on it too firmly, the liquid comes out, providing more lubrication. You can kind of see, okay, I press a little too firmly on the towel, and that comes out. And I just did that, so a little came out. But you'll see a little comes out, gives you more lubrication, so it also mitigates against possible oopsies, right, Ivan?
Exactly.
In the pressure point department.
Yep. The less pressure you use, the better it is. Speaking of pressure, let's get the pressure washer. Always start your tip aiming at the floor or somewhere, but just not at the vehicle.
That's a good tip, Ivan.
Yes. This vehicle has a very bad habit.
Oh, what's that, Ivan?
It likes to drive through car washes.
You can already tell.
Well, the sticker on the windshield tells us that, but at the same time, we can tell. Car washes put a rinsing aid on the vehicle. That rinsing aid is very, very short-lived. It helps the water blow off the vehicle. When it's blowing that water off, most car washes do not have demineralized water, meaning that it's blowing that water off. There's no towel drying happening, and they just keep drying and drying and drying more minerals on the surface. They accumulate. This vehicle, the water is sitting flat. When we
flat, the water's not even moving.
No, some people say, oh, I like sheeting. This is not sheeting. This is pooling. This is hydrophilic behavior. Hydrophilic doesn't mean it goes off on a sheet. Hydrophilic just means it stays there. And that's exactly what's happening here. Now, there's a bit of hydrophobics in a few areas. The glass is nicely hydrophobic. From there, we're gonna add our water spot remover. It may bring some of the hydrophobic behavior back because we're taking the minerals off the surface. Let's give it a try, Nick, see what happens. Time for water spot remover.
I'll take this half, you take that half.
Yeah.
Now, what's our strategy with water spot remover? Are we gonna wipe it in? Are we just gonna spray it on and rinse? And why are we using it in the first place?
Well, we're using it to remove the minerals that are accumulated on the surface. And since we know they're really bad on this vehicle because of its car wash habit, we're going to spray it on, let it dwell for a moment, and then come back and agitate it. That agitation will help us dramatically.
Ivan, usually it's a rinseless dampened towel we use to wipe this in. Can we use our Incredible Suds dampened towel?
100%.
Okay, because that's what I've got in my bucket. Now let's say I have my Decon towel with a little iron remover in my Incredible Suds bucket. Is that a big problem?
Not at all.
Okay, so the mixing and matching there is not a huge concern.
No, and we don't want our towel soaked. We want to wring it out.
Oh boy, I don't think I wrung mine out enough, Ivan. What's the consequence?
Gives you more work.
Why aren't we flipping the side of the towel? I know that's a big thing in this process where we're used to flipping. We don't want to scratch anything.
No,
but here we just, I mean, that's the normal mentality of the detailer.
Right.
Now we're just leaving it flat the whole time.
That's our muscle memory, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason we're doing that is because we're distributing the product on the surface. We're not trying to pick it up off the surface.
Is this a necessary step if I'm just washing the car and I'm not polishing?
No.
Once in a while, how about a decon step? Okay.
When you see that your beading is a little lackluster and you know you have protection, let's say you have a coating, then yes, this is a step that you'll see that. And after winter, it's a good thing to do. If you live in an area where they put salt on the roads.
Because you might think your ceramic coating is dead because it's not beading anymore after winter.
Right.
Try water spot remover. Don't give up yet, folks.
Yeah. And despite the rumors, water spot remover has nothing in it to make water bead. It just cleans that well. But we use it differently than a lot of people. A lot of people start with an acidic soap thinking that's going to do something. It does a little bit of something, but it's never on the same level as a good water spot remover used as the last step before drying.
I think a way to crystallize this is, it's called water spot remover, Ivan.
Yeah.
But a better term for this whole process is mineral cleanse.
Exactly. We're cleansing the surface of minerals.
I keep wanting to flip my towel, and I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, it is.
This ain't my first rodeo, and yet I want to flip the dang towel.
It's muscle memory.
Yep.
Now, speaking of flipping the towel, once we're done here, we are not going to put this towel in our wash bucket. Instead, we're putting this towel to the side to rinse it. Because the acidic nature of water spot remover means that it's really not friendly with your wash media, with your brushes, etc.
One area, if you have ceramic coated vehicle and you live in a wintry, snow-filled area, one area that you're gonna see the beading start to really disappear is on these doors. So I was extra thorough wiping down the doors, you know, these side panels, the vertical ones. Although we saw no hydrophobics at all on the hood. So as you said,
we saw no
Carwash
hydrophobics anywhere.
No, nowhere.
That is in part due to the rinsing and drying technique of car washes. Nick, time to rinse. If you want to rinse out the towels, I'll rinse off the car.
All right, can do. Look at that hood, Ivan.
Much, much better. Now on the hood, it improved it dramatically. On the sides, it's still sheeting a little slowly. And on this part of the roof, it's just still pretty much pooled there.
We don't know much about the history of whether it's been protected, right?
No, so we know that at some point it may have had a bit of protection on it, but it needs that protection renewed. Time to put the pressure washer away. Nick will play with his little squeegee there, and we'll be back in a second. It's time to dry.
I'm ready. I was thinking about this, Ivan. This might seem elaborate to some folks. You know, this is just washing a car. You guys make it so complicated. This takes a long time, you know. What do you say to those folks?
Well, this is not something you do every week. This is not something you do every time you wash your car. This is a once every 6 month decontamination that we just did. Now, if we need to polish the car, that'll be added onto this. But this is something that you should be performing every once in a while on your car, and whether it's coated or not. And a lot of people think that, oh, I've got a coated car, it takes more maintenance. It doesn't take any more maintenance, it actually takes less maintenance on a coated car because it stays cleaner longer. But people that get their cars coated want to maintain them a little better, and this is something that a lot of people just don't do to their cars, decontamination.
It's a game changer if you've never done it before, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
What about just air drying the car? Can we just do that? I mean, why use all the effort of the towel? And could we possibly introduce any scratches with the towel, especially with no drying aid? Why can't I just air dry this, Ivan?
Well, you can, but it takes longer to air dry than it does with the towel. And like I said, just like this going through the car wash and going through the blowers, unless you have 0 TDS water, you're not only moving it off with the blower, but you're also evaporating some of it on the surface.
When you say 0 TDS, that would mean the opposite of hard water?
Yes, so if you have perfectly soft water, meaning it has 0 minerals in it.
Which, who has that, right?
Pardon me?
Which actually, who has that?
Very few people.
Right.
For those that are in the know, total dissolved solids in this area are 500 and up.
That sounds like a lot.
It is. Some people freak out when they get 100 TDS. We have 500 here.
Boy, I'd like to use quick beads and some ceramic gloss on this paint, Ivan, but it's not time yet, is it?
No, it does need a bit of polishing, just to brighten it up. It's a very dull looking finish, and it's dull because of all those passes through the car wash.
It's a nice ride, though.
Yes.
No doubt about that. So we're about to brighten it up. Oh boy, there's some deep scratches up here. Ooh boy, I didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
Now's when you really get to see the paint, and
Yeah,
it ain't pretty, Ivan.
no, under that mud, yeah, we couldn't tell. Now we can.
Looks like some cat scratches on the hood, maybe some grocery bags.
Yeah, there's some bird droppings here and there that have etched into the paint. Thankfully, not many water spots though.
I say cat scratches because I had a client once or a customer who said, yeah, my cat, loved the hood of my car.
Yeah,
So paw, nail scratches everywhere.
yeah.
Although there's just a lot of like horizontal, what do you make of all these?
That could be a snow brush.
Oh.
There's a lot of things that can happen to paint
Yeah.
when you don't know the car. Nick, we've washed, we've decontaminated, we've dried, it's looking good. We've taken up enough of your time for today.
Wait, it's time to polish, isn't it?
No, let's do that in another video.
Oh, I have the polisher in my hand, so I
Yeah.
guess I'll just move my hands and direct them to that video?
Right there.
Right here.